Hi, I'm Jessica McKinney. I'm the Director of Marketing for PJ Dick, Trumbull, and Lindy Paving, which is a general contractor in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we focus on heavy highway, paving, vertical construction. And about 5 years ago when I joined the company, we began developing a new website. Noticed that the old website was very outdated and we needed to refresh our marketing plan as well as get a message on the website because the current website didn't have much of a marketing strategy associated with it. So we got together with our leadership team and decided that we would go with the campaign, Let's Build. And the Let's Build campaign allowed us to talk to the many facets of our industry. Let's build on a concrete level, bridges, roadways, highways. But on a personal level, let's build relationships with our clients. Let's build partnerships. Let's build communities. And let's build a career for our current and future employees. And we started to develop the website and got a little bogged down in the weeds. So we gave a call to Chris Martin, who's with Atlas Communications, and he helped us to weave that story of the Let's Build throughout our website. And then we picked up on that Let's Build platform and put that in proposals and advertisements, et cetera.
So my name is Chris Martin. I am the president of Atlas Marketing. We have two offices, one in Pittsburgh and another in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And we tell stories for people who build things. And as Jessica mentioned, we've worked together on the Let's Build campaign. And part of that approach was built on building a story and telling a story that went beyond just, we build buildings. And as she explained, there's a lot of there's facets to the campaign that can build upon that premise of Let's Build. But today, one of the things that we want to do is we want to challenge the industry. We want to challenge you to think a little differently. And with that, we want to break free from the traditional construction marketing mindset of safe, on time, and on budget. Don't get me wrong, safe, on time, and on budget is extremely important to our industry. However, thinking differently about your marketing and thinking differently about telling a story, as Jessica and her team developed the Let's Build campaign, allows you to engage with your customers in a broader sense. So first thing, marketing is not about you. It is about the value that you provide to your customers. And this idea that we're presenting today focuses on telling a story. And it's important because stories allow your customers to understand who they want to work with, which is one of the reasons that marketing is not about you. It's about the value. So with that, we're going to talk about how stories help to evolve a brand, how stories can bring value to your construction firm, as well as other elements within your company as well. So to do that, the first logical question is, what makes a good story? Well, first off, we want to capture attention. And as Jessica said in the Let's Build campaign, it definitely captures attention right off the bat. Not only from the strong visuals, but also from the tagline of Let's Build. It clearly addresses a need. And that need is to establish a brand moving forward for a company of a family of 8 companies. Got to say that right. But the other side of that, using Let's Build as an example of what makes a good story, is the need or the drive to have your customer learn more and ask more questions about what Let's Build means. And as Jessica mentioned, Let's Build goes beyond just the construction or a job site. It also talks about the company values, but it also talks about and addresses recruitment and future workers to the company. Most importantly, it has to be simple. Let's Build, 2 words. My company, we tell stories. We take it one step further and go to 3 words. But again, the simplicity aspect of telling a good story is what will drive your customers and other people to learn more about your business. So to help bring that to life a little bit more beyond what we've talked about already. One of the campaigns that my company worked for was the Ironworkers local in Pittsburgh. And the first thing that we wanted to do here was establish what ironworkers do, mainly because there was confusion in the marketplace from ironworkers to steel workers as well as fitters. And so the campaign targeted on, we don't go to the office, we build it. And it meets all the criteria of what a good story is, but it also defines who the ironworkers are. And the nice thing with this is it establishes a campaign that we can build off of. And that campaign then developed into a 5-state regional campaign. And from there, we did a lot of elements that you may want to consider if you're telling your own story. Television, radio, outdoor billboards, which the image on the screen is what you're looking at, and also public relations that help to tell the story beyond just the tagline alone.
So at PJ Dick, we took these stories about our company a bit further and put them in proposals as well as videos and on our social media. So we look to tell stories about our safety, about our innovation, by telling a story that we actually experienced, our clients experienced with us. For example, we do things with innovation. We may work with an architectural and an engineering team to move a building 500 feet, and in the process that saved $750,000, but it was a team effort to do that. So you're still proving your safety, your on time, on budget, but you're engaging your viewers or your readers, your clients, in how we got there, and they're experiencing it with you. Once you've got your stories down, figure out where you're going to be placing them. Stay on top of the local trend or the industry trends. So social media is very popular right now. You may want to do a blog or a vlog on your website to show that you're a leader in thought, which means that you are up to date in what's going on in your industry. And by placing that on your website, a side benefit is you're going to keep that website fresh every month with a blog, and that'll keep you higher up on your Google searches. So your website will be more likely to be found by those searching for it. Other methods are telling those stories at conferences. Like today, you may attend a conference and somebody's presenting about a specific project. What was innovative about that? Advertisements, like Chris had mentioned with the ironworkers, and then also videos. We can't neglect videos. Immersing a viewer in videos is one way to get the public more engaged. And Chris, what are the statistics now for videos?
The biggest video statistics that we're aware of, and they go back to 2017 from the most current information, and about 70% of all internet traffic is from videos. And on top of that, from a consumer perspective, 90% of the consumers that were asked in this study responded and retained more information in videos versus 10% from the written word and from what they read. So videos are a definite opportunity, and more importantly, in construction, it's such a visual element, and there's such an abstract aspect to the industry as well, that videos really help tell the story beyond just we're building a building or a highway or a superstructure.
So that goes back to one other thing I'd like to remind people is you don't want to just be telling people something that you did. Yeah. You want to be showing them the benefit of what you did. We've had leaders from each of our divisions, healthcare, et cetera, and come to us and say, here, post something about this event we went to. Well, you can't just post about a project or an event. You need to say what the benefit is to those viewers. Otherwise, you're just reporting out, which is not effective to anybody. It's really just saying, I was there, but so were hundreds of other people. So describe your experience and what the benefit is, help people understand what that experience was. And then if somebody enters into a partnership with you, they understand what kind of value that you're bringing to them based on the stories that you're telling.
Right.
Once you've developed what your storylines will be, it's a good idea to sit down with those people in your business development and marketing teams and outline a plan. Every time you do something, there has to be a reason. There has to be something that's tied to a business strategy. So if you're entering a new market, you want to be making sure that your stories are tied to that new market and influencing people. You want to understand communication purpose, target goal. Those are what's your purpose? Are you informing people that you're staying on top of industry trends? And are you trying, what is their ultimate goal? Is it to engage employees that may be looking at something on social media? Or is it to engage other teaming partners to really understand that you are the firm to team with to win this project? Understand where you're going to be placing the information and how often you're going to be doing it. And the reason why that's important is you want to be consistent with what you're putting out there, so that everything has a string tied between each element and everything looks consistent as well. Those two things also tie to cost, how your frequency and the methods that you're doing, telling some of those stories, they're tied to cost. And on the next, I believe it's the next slide.
Let's find out.
Well, create a calendar is the next slide. You want to make sure that for social media in particular that you've planned out specifically what's going to be happening for your marketing, so that you can have everybody take a look at that and make sure that it complies with safety standards, that your photos are safety approved, that your message is not political. It's going on both sides there, and you're not going to offend anyone, and that you're getting that calendar out to people at least a month or a couple weeks in advance, so that you can post that and load it to social media, so that is not a last minute post.
Yeah, and even though we issued the challenge here today of staying away from safe, on time, and on budget, Jessica brings up a really, really good point. Your images, just as it is here, have to showcase all of the safety features that are taking place on a job site. The last thing you want to do is go out there and showcase a beautiful image and find out that the worker isn't tied off, or he's not using the right ventilation system. So again, all of those things tie in to be a consistent story that allows people to understand things. And again, I want to reinforce what I said earlier. Stories help your customers understand who they want to work with, and that is a big component of consistency and making sure that you're checking off all of the safety boxes as they are. So some of the challenges that I see from my perspective, we've talked about the traditional mindset, and again, safety, on time and on budget is an important aspect. But I think as you found from our discussion so far, there are so many other ways that you can say it, and simple ways that get the same point across. But more importantly, as they are in my industry, in the advertising and PR side, it gives you legs. And so that your story can go beyond just being a let's build, or we don't go to the office, we build it, and get away from that traditional mindset. In addition, customer expectations have shifted. Since the recession, specifically in my business, I'm seeing it, and I'm sure all the contractors that are watching this can say the same thing. The expectation has shifted. So not only does that mean that you're going to be spending more time in engaging with your customer, but you need to manage your expectations, and a solid story gives you that focus that allows you to manage the expectations moving forward. And then that falls in line with another challenge that we see a lot, which is the longer sales cycle. Again, having a story to help tell how you bring value to your customer and help them understand who they want to work with will shorten the sales cycle, and more importantly, help that customer understand who they want to work with. So, taking this approach, there are a few things that you can expect when you adopt this process of telling a story. One, it's going to take some time. You have to develop a story, a strategy, a plan behind that. As Jessica showed, a layout of how you're going to work that plan is important as well, because you're going to spend time developing your strategy, developing your messages, developing all of those things that come into your story, and have confidence in that plan. Just like you would on a job site or a project that you're working on, you're going to continually work the plan to make sure that you're meeting your goals and your objectives. And be very, very diligent in how you follow that plan. And most importantly, for contractors who have an internal team, make sure that your internal team is being very diligent in how that brand or that story is being consumed, but also how it's being told as well. And I think, Jessica, you have something to say about the internal side.
Once in a while, even if your internal team is staying on top of everything, it's good to have an outside consultant come in and offer new ideas and refresh you on the trends that are in the industry, because you do often get the best ideas just by thinking outside the box. Sometimes you're just too close to the material. Also, we tend to run lean and mean in the construction industry, and you may have the best intentions to work with your internal team to execute those marketing plans. But when proposals come around or presentations, that's the focus, because you want to be making money. But having someone like Chris or another consultant who understands the industry to keep you on top of what you need to be doing so that things are being posted regularly and they're being continually developed, that's very helpful, just to make sure that you're on track and being consistent with your message out there.
Mm-hmm. And to that point, one of the things that we do at Atlas Marketing is make sure that we are providing that value, and more importantly, looking at it from a standpoint of being an extension of your internal marketing team. And I think that's one of the things that you should look for if you are going to an external agency, is someone that not only understands the industry, but is willing to help you move the needle in terms of growing your business. And moving that forward, there is that aspect of breaking free from that mindset. And an external team has that ability to ask the hard questions, to take a harder look and a broader look at where the business is going. So with that challenge, one last aspect of that to the industry and to you as a contractor is, when you're thinking differently, if you're expecting different results from the same approach, you're not going to achieve those results. And I think that's the definition of chaos, and we want to stay away from that. We want to limit the amount of risk that's involved in a marketing campaign and really tell the story in a way that people can relate to. That's what it comes down to. So feel free to contact Jessica or I. Our emails are on the screen there. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.